Welcome back, lovers of sequential art. Today we are looking at a remarkable series of comics created by an independent comic creator named David Revoix. I'm assuming it's a Revoix. He's a French artist, so I'm attempting my best Canadian French to pronounce that correctly. David began this project as a webcomic in 2014, and the most recent printed book is February of 2022. All of these books, the 4 books in the series, are self-published by David himself. The story behind the books is just as interesting as the books themselves. DVAD, as he goes by on some social networks, is a revolutionary whose sole purpose seems to be not only producing amazing comics and art, but also disrupting the system and changing the landscape of comic production. If you take a quick look through David's online portfolio, I'll post a link to that in the description, you'll see that the quality of his work is bar none professional level comic art. When you know that he's accomplished all of this using only free and open source software, it's that much more remarkable. I currently only have access to Pepper and Carrot as digital PDF files that I've purchased through Drive-Thru Comics, which I'll again post a link to in the description. So I can't really comment on the quality of the actual printed books themselves, but I'm expecting to get a copy pretty soon. Pepper is a young witch. She's been taken in by a group of older witches who agree to teach her their way, which they call Chaosa. I'm assuming a play on the word chaos. Pepper doesn't always agree with her mentors and strives to do her best, but often makes mistakes. The thing I really like about the comic is that it doesn't glorify her accidents and mistakes. It recognizes that she's a young witch, in this case, who is learning and will make mistakes, but doesn't present those mistakes as if they are somehow worthy of praise. Pepper has a trusty familiar, her cat, named Carrot. She makes friends, learns magic, and grows up a little throughout the 4-book series. The short stories in the series, at times, I thought, were leaning into some topics that I might not entirely agree with, but every time I followed through and read the rest of the story, Pepper had some realization. She learned something, she grew, she developed, and I found the resolution of the conflict quite satisfying. When I'm reading through a comic like this, it makes me think of some of the cartoon series that became popular in the 90s and 2000s that seemed to glorify the bad behavior of some kids who had not yet evolved to the point where they could make really good decisions. Pepper's not one of those. When Pepper makes a bad choice, there are usually meaningful consequences to that, and Pepper learns something from it. As a whole body of work, I could definitely see myself enjoying reading these stories with a very young child and having the material spark many valuable conversations where the important lessons may be discussed and learned. As with any form of media, having a parent engage with their child and the material is ideal, so that they can help the child understand the positive messages that are being put forth by the author. The fact that there is a little nerd culture, humor included in the stories is just a bonus. David Revoix is a consummate professional. The quality of his work is a beacon of light to all industry professionals and organizations, demonstrating that it is not the cost of the tools, but the skill of the artist that creates great art. David has made it a mission of his to use only open source tools to create his work, and has done a remarkable job in showcasing what those tools can do. It's hard to believe that all of his work on these comics is done digitally. There is so much character and liveliness and texture in the work. David has drawn, inked, and colored the entire series of books using the freely available Krita art program. Again, I'll put a link in the description. In a professional environment where students are taught to use the industry standard, which often costs thousands of dollars up front or hundreds of dollars a year in subscription fees, David is showing that you can achieve remarkably good quality work using, in this case, freely available tools. Of course, you have to have a computer, and ideally a drawing tablet in order to use these free programs. But that is a small bar to entry when you consider the cost of other programs that are used to create artwork in professional industries these days. Personally, I love David's commitment to open source software and the Creative Commons license. But I have to say, even without that aspect of his career, his body of work is phenomenal. David's characters, backgrounds, and environments are all beautifully drawn and rendered in a cartoonish but painterly style that I simply cannot get enough of. I hope that David continues to produce these stories for many years to come, and that he gets the recognition that he deserves for the remarkable quality of his art and his storytelling. If you like these kind of reviews, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications. It all helps me to spread the word and share amazing work like this with everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.